we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Hotlanta, Atlanta. We got a 1.54-mile track coming at you tonight. The stars of the Relentless Racing Series, their Xfinity Car Series, is running tonight, getting ready for some serious action on this hot track. Rick, welcome to a Friday night, my friend. How you doing?
Oh, brother, happy Friday. The week is done. Here we are in Hotlanta. The Hammond Hotel's air conditioned, bro. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really, really well. Man, listen, 1.5 mile track. We've got, 120 laps coming up to everybody's direction tonight. 184 plus a little bit miles. We got a pit road speed of 45 miles an hour. We've got 21 drivers out there ready to rock and roll, and we've been admiring some of the paint schemes already.
Oh, that we have, Chris. The big thing right now, though, Austin Ruway, the number 22 car, right there with the fastest lap so far, and that's one of the paint schemes that we were talking about, Chris. Right now, got the fastest lap of practice of a 30.557, so he's out there just cruising right now.
Yeah, going to be pretty awesome tonight. Looking forward to bringing you the action. Qualifying starts in about 5.5 minutes, and you see what we've got on the lineup coming Sunday and next Friday night. We're going to be back with the Relentless Racing Series, Atlanta Motor Speedway next week. Oh, wait a second.
We're at Atlanta already, brother.
Yeah, we're at Atlanta right now. It's Las Vegas. We'll fix that right now.
Yeah, right now we're at the Georgia Peaches 120 next week, though, like Chris was trying to say there. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We got 120 laps there also, Chris, on February 1st, man. That means January is done, bro. The first month of the year is in the books. And we're going to be heading down there for the Luxor Hotel and Casino 180, bro.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to get it going. Skittles, how are you doing? Fish Guts, Will's Epic Channel, Cody Hall. Thank you all for coming out. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. That's my one and only time I'll say it. Guys, thank you again for coming out.
No, it's not.
What?
In case Rat Base Productions watches this later, there make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell right to the right of that. That way you get notified every time MaxSpeedTV goes live. And Chris, we're live pretty much every night of the week.
That's true enough. And yeah, I'm glad you saw that on Twitter. That was kind of funny. All right, we're gonna get this one ready to go. We got cars on track. We've already had a driver's meeting. We've had practice for about an hour. We got 4 minutes left. And guys, we're going to be right back. Stay tuned. Some exciting action coming right out of Atlanta tonight the Relentless Racing Series, presented right here on MaxSpeedTV. We'll be right back.
We got a brand new leader here. Joshua Pena takes it to the lead in front of Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, that 45 truckload's charging pretty hard with that outside lane. Perfectly formed up right now, and it looks like he'll be going for the lead down the backstretch.
All right, folks, I had to cut that break just a little bit short to bring you all the action here at Atlanta. We are under qualifying. We're on board the 43 car of Thomas Wagner as he's getting set to start his qualifying run.
That 43 just goes across the start finish line, Chris. Ooh, big blink there. Going about 189 miles per hour right now. He's okay though.
Yeah, a little pre-race information on Thomas Wagner. Internet down at his house. He's actually using his cell phone data plan in order to be here racing tonight. Good job, Thomas, for setting it up. And I know it's a little frustrating, so hopefully everything works out well for you here tonight. That first lap, because he touched the wall, will not count. Got to try again. That 43 looking good. The Stars and Stripes sitting on that Ford Mustang, Rick.
It's definitely looking pretty good there on that Mustang there, Chris. You know, he's a firefighter as a trade. He is running for the Stephen Stiller Tunnels to Towers Foundation. Always good to see those guys supporting the firefighter brothers and sisters out there. This track is hot tonight, Chris. We're sitting at 102 degrees right now. The air temperature is only 78 degrees, but hey, they don't call this Hotlanta for nothing.
Yeah, speaking of hot, Thomas Wagner with a third place. Steve Arvasis, hello, quick time of the night so far, a 30.512. Good enough to capture the pole with Nick Vaughn right behind him. He ran a 25.986. That's not right.
I don't know what's going on with your scoring tonight, but I'm just going to be quiet because I don't know which one's right.
I'm going with, yeah, telemetry is a little flawed here tonight. Somehow, Nick Vaughn being scored 5 seconds faster than everybody else on the track, he may win.
Well, right now, Steve Zaveris in that number 2 has the pole right now with a 30.512. Austin Dabershire in the 64 with a 30.537. Jake McDonald in the 15 just posted a time of 30.546. Nick Vaughn's 30.601, Chris.
And right now, we're on board with... Oh no. He's on TeamSpeak. Well, he wasn't on TeamSpeak before, and I can still pick on him a little bit. Gabriel, Gabriel Smith.
Gabriel Jones.
Gabriel Jones. Gabriel...
He's actually probably listening to the broadcast, Chris. We probably just made him hit the wall there as he's going across the start-finish line. We'll get Gabriel up here into the Hammond Hotel here once he is able to get a couple laps in here.
Gabriel, you need to watch the video and fix your colors for me. If you want your name pronounced right, guys, this is an inside joke, I'm sorry, but Gabriel, if you want your name pronounced right, you got to do me a favor and make it so I can see it. Right now, you see what I see. Lots of white. So right now, you're just the number 16. We'll go on board last week's winner. The old Kevin G.
Posting a really fast time right now with 30.399, Chris, and that number 6, Jägermeister.
I'll drink to that.
I mean, it is a Camry, so it is, you know, Kevin Jeterich. Got the fast lap right now. Shuts her down, Chris.
Right behind him, as far as fast laps go, Keith Hatcher out there in the 51 car. Just a very simple paint job, no sponsorship on board. And Keith is out there in the 51 doing what he can. Right now, scored second on the old speed chart up there. We got about 5 minutes left of qualifying and plenty of drivers that haven't come out yet.
One guy that did come out, though, Chris, the number 77, Vic Bloom. Just qualified second on that pass through there in that purple and white number 77 car. Got a time of 30.412.
Oh, Vic Bloom. Well, I'm going to have to start pronouncing your name wrong just because your colors are not correct.
Wow.
Race number 2. And he is not a rookie to this series. Vic Bloom, if you could, please do help us out. On board, Dante Jackson in the number 17. Although if you look at it right, or wrong rather. I guess you're going to think it's a 77 real quick. But Dante Jackson in the 17 getting ready to start his qualifying run. Comes out after the blue cone, and he is on the back stretch getting that Ford Mustang up to speed. Dante Jackson getting ready to pass the start-finish line, and he is off on this 1.5-mile adventure, getting ready to qualify for this 120 laps of exciting action here at Atlanta. And Rick, you already said it once, this track is hot. Be careful out there, guys. Cars will get loose.
It is. Yes, they will. It is hot and slick out there right now, Chris. And just so the folks out there watching on MaxSpeedTV land here on YouTube, it looks like we're going to have 2 stages, which is normal for the Relentless Racing. First stage is going to be lap 30. Second one is going to be lap 60. We're looking at about a fuel run of somewhere between 25 and 28 laps. But right now, Dante Jackson doing really good there on the second lap, Chris. That Track 1 Motorsports Ford Mustang is looking fast tonight. Right now, he is sitting in 11th. We'll see what happens as he's coming through turn 4 and getting ready to go across the start-finish line. And it looks like he's going to be holding at 11th with a 30.684.
Dante Jackson scored 11th. Austin Verway out on track. Oh, Austin. A2 Spartacus, you too need to look at your colors on iRacing. You can change them without changing your paint scheme, I promise. It's possible.
And if you are like Chris, you can just have somebody else do it for you.
That's right. Matt Gruenberg out on track. We'll see if we can find that 54. There he is.
Matt Gruenberg had a terrible start to the season there last week at Daytona, Chris. Finishing dead last, so I know he's looking for a good run tonight in that number 54 machine.
Yeah, Team 1 Sim really disappointed by that, hoping to rebound tonight. And the 54 car is Matt Gruenberg, and what a lap he put down, Rick. A 30.342 for the pole. Matt Gruenberg, he is back out on track. On board now, the 24, made famous by one Jeff Gordon, now being driven by Armando Ortiz. Armando out there trying to get qualified for this event.
Another driver with Track 1 Motorsports, Chris. That paint looks pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, Armando Ortiz, no stranger to us. Comes across the line, 8th position, a 30.543 for Armando. Looking to try and improve here at Atlanta. And sometimes we see the first lap is actually the fast lap here at Atlanta for some reason. But we'll see if he can improve on that this time by.
One thing about this track, Chris. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, he's only 6 thousandths off from the car in front of him. Very close.
Very, very close. One thing about Atlanta, the track, it tears up these tires. I mean, being this warm out there, Chris, I mean, you know, these tires are not very, very sticky. I mean, these cars are going to get loose really quick. So, yeah, the first lap is going to be a little bit faster than the second one. As Armando's going around for his second lap here. We're going to see if anything changes. But right now, you were right. He is sitting with that 30.543 for 10th position right now.
James Miller out on track in the number 25. A little bit disappointing last week. James Miller didn't have the finish he was looking for. Still ended up, well, we'll go over the points here in just a second. Didn't hurt him so much in points, but he had a rough week last week. And as we finish up qualifying, we'll go over that. So we bring up the point standings right now. We got Kevin up front, Austin Verway right behind him, Shane DiMontova, Kevin Foster, James Miller, Steve Arvesis, Gabriel Esk, Wesley Whitfield, Vic Bloom, and Austin Derbyshire. Those are the top 10 in points. And Vic's like, I have no idea. But Vic, you do need to change your paint scheme a little bit in iRacing for me so you're not white. Since I know you're watching,
basically, all you gotta do is
tell you.
Yeah, all you gotta you gotta do is go into the iRacing paint shop for the Xfinity car. That first box, any color other than white. So you do it black, do it green, do it purple to match your car. Anything you need to do, Vic. But I can tell you right now, buddy, how you got third. You got third because you're driving my number. Number 77, that purple machine, it is on track tonight. I wish you luck. Got a bunch of guys out there. J Dude, Abrix, going out for AB Sim Sport. We got Fish Guts out there for number 60, Jeffrey Pitcher, who did not take time. Not sure exactly what happened with Jeffrey, but in that 60 machine, he's just going to be starting in 19th, Chris.
Yeah, and Rick, we're getting ready to go, so we better hit the qualifying grid very quickly here. Up front, on the pole, Matt Gruenberg, Kevin Gierich, second position in that 6 car. Vic Bloom starting third, James Miller fourth, Eric Lyda in the 33, bringing it home fifth. Keith Hatcher, 6th in the 51 car. Nick Alford in the 42. He's going to be starting 7th tonight. Steve Arvesas in the Ford, number 2, starting 8th. Austin Derbyshire going to be starting his 64 in 9th position. Armando Ortiz starting the 24 car in 10th, Rick.
And you got the number 15 and Jake McDonald in 11th, Chris. Troy Leonard in the 45 is going to be starting 12th. Nick Vaughn in the 46, 13th. Thomas Wagner in the number 43 machine in 14th. Dante Jackson in the 17 machine in 15th. Stephen Dean in the 55 qualified 16th. Kenneth Cook in the 74 qualified 17th. Those are the last guys that actually did a lap there in qualifying. Then you got Austin Verway in the 22nd, 18th. Jeffrey Fisher, the Fisherman, number 60 machine in 19th. Dame Newsom in the 14 qualified 20th. And Gabriel, we're going to kill it. Gabriel E. We're going green, buddy.
We are green. And there's action right off the green. Tire spin. Oh my goodness. Not the way they wanted to start this race. And it's going to take a second before all my telemetry comes across. Not the opportune time for me to try and catch what was going on. Holy cow, we are under caution. We didn't even make it to turn 1 tonight. And I'm not sure what happened to who. I saw a tire spin. I saw a car go sideways. Did not catch the number. I think we'll back up and just take a look back further in the field. Maybe go on board Thomas Wagner. See if we see anything out of his replay.
He definitely does have some damage in that number 43, Chris.
And would you believe this? It's not picking it up for me. Unbelievable. Trying to go back. It's not letting me. Oh boy, not the way we wanted to start tonight. We go back live and we are on board with the leader. Rick, maybe you can check your side and see if you can figure out what happened, but I definitely saw some tire spin, cars fanned out, tried to avoid each other under caution under the very first lap, right at the green flag.
Yeah, iRacing's not letting me go back either, Chris. It might be just because it was one of the first laps. Not all the cars probably went across the start-finish line to actually start the race, even though we are on lap number 3 of 120 right now.
Yeah, unbelievable. And these guys, I'm sure they're scratching their heads going, what in the heck just happened? And we're going to figure it all out as we are under caution here already. The Relentless Racing Series. Not wanting to start like that. But, you know, at least it's early on in the race. You know, we'll take a little solace in that.
The track has cooled off a little bit, Chris. Right now it's at 98 degrees. We're not talking about that band back in, what, the late 90s, early 2000s? But it is a little cooler, but still. Those tires are going to be slick out there, and I'm not exactly sure. I tried to go back a couple times here, but it's just not letting me. But Thomas Wagner definitely has some damage on that number 43 on the right-hand side there. See the hood all crumpled up, fenders all crumpled in.
Well, too early for pit stops. Nobody coming down. Air temperature right now, 77 degrees. Track temperature, Rick, you said it. It is 98 degrees. Guys, we're in store for 120 laps. It's 184 miles. The fuel window tonight, 25 to 28 laps with a pit road speed of 45 miles an hour. We see some very big changes. The number 64, and I'm just trying to find it in my scoring. That's Austin Derbyshire, down 8 positions, so I'm going to guess that he was involved. The number 15, Jake McDonald, down 5 positions, guessing he was involved. The 45, Troy Leonard, involved. And the 46, Nick Vaughn, also involved.
Derbyshire definitely came down pit road, Chris, right behind him, the 60 of Jeffrey Fisher. So it looks like there was definitely a couple of cars that were involved in that accident.
Coming out of Nick Vaughn is up ahead of your leader right now. He's going to be looking to get a wave around. He is a lap down.
And just coming over race control, Chris, as you were saying that, it looks like everybody who is 1 lap down is going to be getting a wave around, so we are going to have some extra caution laps here.
That's probably a really good move by the race control. You know, lap 1, and you've got everybody from 13th on back, at least 1 lap down. Nobody wants to start a race like that. It's better to reset it and start it on over. So good job, race control. I very much agree with that decision to go ahead and get the field reset. And we'll go back to live racing here very shortly. And yeah, Skittles, I may have taken a little bit of your spotlight with the subscribe and like buttons, but you know, I gotta say it at least once. '14 car, Dame Newson, up 10 positions from the start of the race. So he is definitely, he's okay with this. Dame Newson sitting in 12th right now in that 14 Cobalt Chevrolet. Some very fantastic looking paint jobs out there, and once we get going we'll be able to go through and see them live. And it looks like pace car lights are off. I think the field may be set. There's a few cars still a lap down. And it starts from 18th back. Jake McDonald, Troy Leonard, Nick Vaughn, Steve Arvasis. At least 1 lap down. Steve Arvasis actually 2 laps down as we get ready to go here. Jake McDonald going around pace car, so he gets his lap back.
Race control has thrown the caution once again, Chris, so we have a couple more laps here.
Yeah, it'll be 2 more laps. 1 lap after they cross the start-finish line. Lights should go back off on the pace car, giving everybody a chance to get back around that pace car, get their laps back. We do have a new leader, though. And that's Kevin G in the 6 car. Little shot of Jaeger never did anyone any harm. It's the 8th or 9th shot, Rick, that always seemed to get me.
Amen. I haven't had Jägermeister since about 2005, but we won't talk about that night.
And right now, scoring is a little messed up. It's got the 74 of Kenneth Cook up front, but that's not true. It's actually the 6 car, so I'm sure they're going to have to fix that. Pace car lights are off again. We're going to see if this one sticks. Race control will let us know. '74 looks like he is hanging out back. I think it's set, Rick. I think we are ready to go back to green flag racing here.
I think you're right. I'm monitoring race control very closely right now, Chris.
And Kevin G, part of One Sim Racing, out there in that Jägermeister. He is leading at this point. He was able to get around the leader before all of the action happened on that first lap. We're currently on lap 8 of 120, and most of them have been under caution. And to be honest, it's been a good job by the admins making sure everything is reset correctly. Pace car light is on. Or, excuse me, pace car light is off. He is down on pit road, and we are back to green flag racing. The 6 car, Matt G, getting pressure, or Kevin G, rather. Matt Gruenberg races his way out front again. Vic Bloom sitting in 3rd.
Kevin Jeterich had a little bit of a wheel spin there on that start, Chris, which enabled Matt Gruenberg in the 54 machine to get a really good lead. Now we got the 77. Vic Bloom sitting on the outside of the number 6 as they go into the corner.
Kenneth Cook still being scored as your race leader. I'm sure that that's going to get fixed before too long. Race control may not have noticed it yet, but I certainly have. So we're going to keep it right here on Matt Gruenberg so we know who the leader is. It's Matt in the 54 car. He's followed by Kevin G. Both part of One Sim Racing right there, Rick.
Yeah, these guys are teammates. They're doing what they have to do, Chris, right now, trying to keep Vic Bloom back there in 3rd place, but we'll see what's going to happen here as they're coming down through the tri-oval across the start finish line into turn 1.
We knew the track was hot. We knew it was going to be slippery. Didn't expect a lap 1 incident, but it happened, and we move on. Speaking of moving on, Matt, see here, Matt Gruenberg finally being scored correctly in 1st place. The 54 car out front, and he is getting a little bit of traction out there that the other guys don't seem to have. 0.3 of a second lead so far here on lap 10.
James D. Miller, Chris, in the number 25 machine on the inside of the number 77, trying to take over 3rd position. Got those tires right on the white line of the apron, boy. Right now they are nose to nose. 25's got a little help with the 24.
Yeah, Armando Ortiz trying to help out James Miller, get around Vic Bloom. Vic Bloom under the attack. Armando Ortiz sneaks out just a little bit right by the nose across the start-finish line. Did Armando Ortiz have Vic Bloom? So Vic now in 4th place in the indesirable lane on the outside. Oh, look out, Armando. You almost moved up into him. Vic Bloom, hang on. Behind them, it's Austin Verway. Austin in that white 22, doing a pretty good job sitting there in 6th place. Nick Alford in the 42. He is running in 7th. Keith Hatcher in the 51, running 8th. Thomas Wagner. Thomas is running in 9th, but he is under attack by Eric Lyda on the inside. The 33, looking for position. Dane Newsom in the 14 gets into the wall just a little bit, able to gather it back up and continue on. Actually scoots down to the inside a little bit. Thomas Wagner hanging out to dry on that outside lane, Rick. That's not where you want to be tonight.
No, that's definitely not where you want to be, Chris. I mean, you definitely want help. I mean, this is a big track, so the draft does come into play. But that high line is just not fast at all. And as you can see, most of the passing's on the inside lane. And there goes Wagner in the 43. He's looking on the inside of the number 14. He's like, nope, I'll take my spot back, thank you.
And you see him drifting way up, so tight into the corners. Got to be careful for that loose snap off from him. Lots of things going through these drivers' minds. As you see right now, the 17 car, Dante Jackson getting around Thomas Wagner in the 43. Dante moving up. Last car in the top 10 now. Quick check in up front. It's still the 54, Matt Gruenberg, but he's got company. The 25, James Miller, getting around the 6. He is now in 2nd place. James Miller looking to avenge last week's finish. Right now, sitting in 2nd spot. Armando Ortiz started in 10th. He's currently running in 4th position in the 24 car. The last of the first group. Then you got a 3 car. Then he's led by Austin Verway, Vic Bloom, Nick Alford, part of that 3 car run. Trying to catch the lead pack.
Looks like the 33 of Eric Lyda just kind of hanging back, waiting for that number 51 of Keith Hatcher to get up to him to help him out, catch those guys. But right now, I think this is where everybody wants to be, man. They just want to do what they have to do.
Yeah, got to get spread out, run single file. We got one into the wall back there. And that is Thomas Wagner. Thomas is able to save it, but wow. Oh, he's still going loose. Thomas Wagner going for a ride in that 43. Gathers it back up and down the front stretch. That was close. As you saw, he hit the wall, got very loose there. Able to gather it back up. Good running by Thomas Wagner. Able to keep all four straight on that one. And now Austin Verway in the 22 hit the wall. These guys getting very tight, trying to stay off from that gas pedal. But, man, it's tough out there. That track being as hot as it is, they are floating up towards the wall. Verway had his issue, but he is underway, still sitting in 5th spot. We've got James Miller headed to the outside, trying to get a run on the 54 of Matt Gruenberg. Miller running a very different line than your race leader right now, as he went way high in that corner, trying to hold on to some of that momentum, and he is kind of right there, Rick.
Yeah, he definitely is, Chris. I mean, I think James Miller's really trying to utilize that turn 1 and 2. I mean, as you can see, as they go down through the start-finish line and head into 1 now, once they start getting into 1, you see some shadows there from the billboards, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. I think he goes up a little high, trying to gain a little bit of speed. The track temperature up there is just a little bit cooler because of that shade, but it doesn't last long. But right now, James Miller doing a great job, qualified 4th, sitting in 2nd. And it looks like the number 74 of Kenneth Cook has retired for the race, Chris. He brought his car behind the wall and loading it up into the hauler.
Kenneth Cook, not going to be happy with that finish. But I understand. Hey, if your car is damaged and you're not feeling comfortable out there, probably better to get out of the way. As we're on lap 21 of 120 now, the fuel run here, 25 to 28 laps, but that's under green. We spent most of the first 10 laps under caution, so I don't expect to see anybody coming down for at least another 15 or so laps.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, we know that we're looking at lap 30 is going to be the end of stage 1. Can the tires hold out that long? That's one of the questions that we have tonight, because here at Atlanta, the track is very old. It hasn't been refinished in quite a while here on iRacing, so it does chew up those tires, so it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. You're right, though. Lap 30, so that's only 8 laps away. These guys can definitely make that run if they saved any fuel under those caution laps. It should definitely not be a problem at all. Everybody will come down for that first pit service around lap 30.
And as we're watching leaders, Chris, I'm falling back to the number 77 of Vic Bloom. Somebody finally caught up to the back of him. That's the 33 of Eric Lyda. Eric Lyda is trying to get into the groove there on the inside, trying to make the pass, but it's not going to happen this time. Right now, Vic Bloom started 3rd in 7th position right now, but he is under pressure by that number 33.
Yeah, Lyda started in 5th spot. He's in 8th right now, so he's fallen back a few, but he's looking to get him back in that 33 car. Eric Lyda, very good driver. Again, another guy, didn't have a great finish last week, but looking to kind of rebound this week here at Atlanta.
Right now, Matt Gruenberg doesn't really have much pressure there. He's just hitting his marks, Chris, sitting there. I mean, the number 25, James Miller, is right there, getting a little bit of pressure there. Armando Ortiz still sitting in 3rd, trying to figure out what these guys are going to do.
Matt Gruenberg up front with James Miller right behind. 5 more laps before we start seeing the first caution, well, the second caution of the race, but it'll be that first stage. So it's going to be interesting to see how much James Miller pushes the envelope here on Matt Gruenberg to try and get around him for that stage victory. It is worth a point, Rick.
It is. That's one of the things that these guys are racing for, Chris. I mean, we have stage racing, so there are points from 1st till 10th. And that stage is going to be ending right now. James Miller, woo, he went way to the inside, almost hit the wall there as he came up back to the outside. He was able to collect it up there, but not having much of a run right now on Matt Gruenberg.
Gruenberg was really, really tight in that last corner. He was up close to the wall. Miller had a very different line on the inside, got on the gas, was able to get on the gas a little bit earlier, and boy, did he have a run. Gruenberg was able to shut it down, but that's something Miller might put in the back of his head for a little bit later on in the race, or he may use it around lap, say, 29 to try and take lap 30 and cross start-finish line first under that the first stage. Got about a lap and a half before that first stage caution flag does unfurl. Matt Gruenberg up front has led 21 laps. Gieterich and Cook are the only other drivers who have led a lap so far. And I don't know if Cook is actually going to get credit for that at the end of the race, because it was kind of having to do with people getting their spots back on track after that first lap caution.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, I know he did have a penalty to serve. He is being scored, as I said, 17 laps down as of right now. He has retired from the race, so I'm sure race control is going to be looking at that. James Miller didn't have that bad of a finish, though, actually, last week. He came in 5th, Chris, not exactly where he wanted, but he only had 1 bonus point, and that was for leading a lap. So I know he's definitely looking to get whatever he can out of these stages. Right now we're on lap 29 of 120. And there's lap 30.
There's lap 30. Matt Gruenberg going to be your stage 1 winner tonight. Congratulations to Matt, as he has won stage 1 here tonight, and we expect some cautions to be coming out. Or excuse me, not cautions, some pit stops to happen. We take a look at race progress so far. The 22 car, the Hard Charger Award, goes to Austin Verwey, up 14 positions so far. The 14 car, Dame Newsom. The 16 car of Gabriel Esk. They are both up 10 positions. And this one is far from over, but we are a lap 31 of 120 here on this 1.5-mile track. And already we've seen that this track is hot, and you cannot take grip for granted. On that lap 1 incident, it was all about lack of grip. But it looks like they may have figured it out after that, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely right, Chris. I mean, that's just something, I mean, you know, tire spin here is something that happens even in the official racing here in iSeries or iRacing, something you have to really worry about. And that's just what happened. It was just the getting on the gas too fast and losing that grip.
Every single lead lap car down pit road for service. Matt Gruenberg in the first pit stall has to back up. Went a little too far. That may be all Kevin Gieterich needs in order to get out of the pits faster. We'll see how that plays out. Boy, oh boy. Okay, no problem, Matt. Oh my goodness, look at this. Armando Ortiz may have won the battle off on pit road. Wow.
That's the way I saw it, Chris. That is definitely how I saw it, my friend.
Armando Ortiz, your race leader, coming off pit road. James Miller going to be second. Austin Verwey third. Matt Gruenberg came on pit road in first spot. Had to back up into his pits to get service. Comes out in fourth spot. Guys, you saw how long it didn't take very long to get back where he needed to be for his pit crew to take advantage of his stall. But look at that. On track, 4 positions.
That's just what can happen, though. I mean, it's one of those tracks, Chris, where, you know, if you have a good pit stop, you're able to do. And let me tell you, Armando Ortiz, he is going to be paying a little bit extra to his pit crew after that one.
I would think so, as Armando Ortiz up front in the 24 car. And listen to this, Rick. Total pit stop time. So the time that they cross the line onto pit road to the time they cross off, 39 seconds. Almost a full second faster than anybody else out there.
That's just amazing.
Super job on pit road. And what do you get when you have a good job on pit road? Track position. In track position, Armando Ortiz, you couldn't ask for any better, as you are up front, race leader right now. Lisa out in chat. So wonderful for RJ. I'd like to figure out what the backstory is on that. I was not told of any backstory, so certainly if somebody's going through a rough time, we definitely would like to put it out there so everybody knows about it. If these guys are racing for some particular reason tonight, I think everybody ought to know. And thank you for coming out to MaxSpeedTV. You're joining myself, Chris, and Rick right here in the booth, bringing you all the action here tonight.
I was going to bring up Gabriel there, Chris, but it looks like the lights on the pace car are off, so we might have to catch him next time.
Yeah, we'll have to catch him next time, Rick, and we'll figure out how to butcher his name even more than what we already have. So we've got Ortiz, Miller, and Verwey, your top three. Gruenberg and Giederich finish off your top five. Vic Bloom sitting in sixth spot. Eric Lyda, excuse me, I guess Vic Bloom's on the, yeah, he is on the inside. So Vic Bloom, Eric Lyda sharing that third row. Third and fourth row, excuse me. And Nick Alford sitting in eighth. Dame Newson, ninth. And Keith Hatcher sitting in 10th position. And Nick Alford, if you watch this, please do adjust your car colors so that we can see the information. Gonna be calling people out for that, guys. It's a very simple fix. It takes about 30 seconds when you're on the iRacing website. Please do fix that up for us.
And again, basically all you have to do, Chris, is just go into the paint shop there, make the first block under the car any other color than white, and then on the number, make it any other color that is not the color that you put on your car for that color.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Rick, we've gone back under green flag racing. Armando Ortiz with a great jump. He's got James Miller right behind him, but Armando Ortiz up front, and he got a little bit tight there, very close to the wall. James Miller with a good run. Not able to apply the pressure as much as he'd like to. Going into turns 3 and 4, Ortiz is going to lead this lap.
James Miller did a really smart thing there, Chris. I mean, Atlanta's not someplace, I mean, you can bump draft a little bit. With the way that this track is tonight, I think it was smart to do what he did, and now he's being rewarded for that as he takes over the lead position. That's James Miller in the number 25, your race leader.
Miller with a pretty clean pass to the inside, but Ortiz fights back on the inside going into turns 3 and 4. Ortiz in the 24 on the inside. James Miller able to close the door just a little bit in the 25, and that is enough to keep Ortiz back in second position.
Right now the battle I'm watching is against the number 22 and the 6. Trying to figure out who is going to take over that fourth position right now. The 22, Austin Verwey, has it, Chris, but he has got a lot of pressure by the 6 of Kevin Giederich. And Vic Bloom in the 77 coming in. Ooh, the 22 into the wall. That's going to allow the 6 and the 77 to move up a little bit there.
Vic Bloom cracks back into the top 5 by virtue of the 22 of Austin Verwey, Austin Verwey getting into the wall just a little bit. Not a very big hit, just enough to scrub a little bit of speed, and that's exactly what happens. Expect Verwey to come back on the attack to the inside, and he's doing that right now. Vic Bloom under pressure by the 22, heading into turns 3 and 4. Verwey is on the inside. Vic Bloom under the gun as he is to the outside. We've talked about it. That's not the place you want to be tonight. Outside, not working well for just about anybody. And Verway with a good run heading into turns 1. Verway looking to get back into the top 5 in that 22 car. And it looks like he has him by a nose heading onto the backstretch. It is a drag race out there, Rick.
Oh, it definitely is right now. Looks like the 77 going to just kind of do what he has to do there. He's doing a fabulous job. I mean, the line out on the outside has not been working for anybody, but right now he's got the 33 of Eric Lida moving up, giving him a little bit of help there. But right now these guys are doing just exactly what you said, Chris. They're just drag racing back and forth. It's the 22, it's the 77, it's the 22. Right now it's the 22 again, but the 77's pulling back up again right now. We'll see what happens. 22 is almost, oh, nope. Vic Bloom's getting a really good run there on the outside lane, Chris. I mean, getting a little bit of help from the draft on that wall there. Eric Lida's like, I don't know what I want to do.
Eric Lida could be the one that decides this one ultimately. The car he gets behind should have a little bit more speed. But I'll tell you what, Verway and Vic Bloom absolutely battling it out. And this has been incredible to watch. The 22 car on the inside should have the advantage. Vic Bloom been battling on the outside lane. And finally, it looks like the 22 taking advantage of the inside, able to get around. And now Vic Bloom under attack by Eric Lida. Lisa, very sorry to hear about your brother. Obviously, thoughts and prayers going out to you and your family in this very hard time. I do wish you the best.
And that comes from all of us there at MaxSpeedTV.
Back up front, James Miller has the race lead. Armando Ortiz still sitting in second. Matt Gruenberg, we saw that little miscue on pit road. It's starting to recover. He's sitting in third place. Kevin Jiterich, man, oh man, I gotta figure that one out eventually in my brain. It just doesn't happen right now. He's sitting in fourth position. And then we get back to that battle that was happening. We got Verway, Eric Lida, Dame Newson able to get around Vic Bloom. So Vic Bloom heading backwards, not where he wants to go. May have hurt those tires on the outside, Rick. Something to watch out for. And then we've got the number 60, Jeffrey Fisher. Hello, Jeffrey. You're in the top 10, sitting in 9th. Gabriel. First of all, Gabriel, I know I've said it once, but I told you today that I was going to end up picking on you. If you didn't tell me what your name was, you have not yet. So it's going to be Gabriel Smith for the rest of the night in that 16 car. Nick Alford in the 42. Nick, you too are a white, so you're now Nick Smith sitting in the 42, sitting in 11th place. Keith Hatcher. Keith, you are sitting in 12th position. Thomas Wagner, we saw a heck of a good save earlier as that car went for a ride. I don't know how he saved that one. Thomas Wagner, you're sitting in 13th, and you're under attack by the 17 of Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson to the inside, looking to improve position, trying to take over 13th from Thomas Wagner. He has him by a nose, heading into turns 3 and 4, and it looks like that 17 car going to complete that pass. Right behind them, the 64 car, Austin Derbyshire. He is sitting in 15th position, started in 9th, looking to climb his way back up. And then we've got Troy Leonard sitting in the 45, that Coke Zero car. Very good looking car. We looked at that one earlier during the practice run. Both Rick and I agreed it's one of the better looking cars that we've seen in a long time. Jake McDonald in the 15. He started 11th. He's running 17th right now. And then we've got Nick Vaughn in the 46. He started 13th. Currently running 18th in that 46 car. Stephen Dean in the 55 car. He is running 19th. And then Steve Arvisis. He is one lap down. He's running that 2 car as fast as he can, trying to get that lap back. Needs a caution desperately in order to do so. That brings us back up front. James Miller is your race leader, Rick.
Yeah, absolutely right, Chris. And while you were going through the field there, I was watching the 6 and the 54 battle it out for third right now. Matt Grunberg not able to get around Kevin Jiterich in that number 6 machine yet, but he's not done putting the pressure on as he goes down onto the inside. He's catching up to the number 6. They're going to be drag racing down through the corner, but 6 still has the preferred fast line now. It's kind of interesting how that outside lane has started to work for some of these drivers, Chris. There goes Matt Grunberg. He's on the inside. He's almost clear, and he is clear right now. Matt Grunberg moves up to 3rd position as they go across the start-finish line.
Grunberg has led 25 laps here tonight, looking to try and get back up front to lead some more. He's got Ortiz and Miller ahead of him. And just checking in real quick, yeah, Lisa, it's amazing the power of family. And all I can say is stick with family. It's the best remedy and when you're going through a hard time. And sometimes family doesn't mean the same last name, as I am quick to tell anybody that the guy on the other side of the booth is my brother from another mother, Rick Hammond, and he is watching some racing with me here tonight at Atlanta. And I thank everybody out there for watching it with us as well. We really do appreciate you coming out and spending some time on a Friday night here at MaxSpeedTV. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you very much, Ratface Productions.
Well, while you're reminding everybody to hit that subscribe button, Chris, you forgot to tell them to hit the notification bell. That way they know when MaxSpeedTV goes live, and that's pretty much every single night of the week. But right now, Matt Gutenberg is putting pressure on Armando Ortiz, the number 24, Chris. I've been at the edge of my seat as you've been talking because they've been battling it like crazy. Matt Grunberg, after the finish that he had last week, he is coming here to dominate, and he is doing everything that he possibly can. Right now, he is side by side with the number 24. He's got that preferred line that we thought was the preferred line on the inside, Rick, Chris. But right now, man, I don't know. That outside lane looks pretty strong, but there we go. They're side by side, drag racing now once again as they're going into turns 1 and 2. Who's it going to be? Right now, it's the 24 of Armando Ortiz as they go down through the backstretch.
I think, if I am seeing this correctly, 3 and 4 prefers the inside line, 1 and 2 prefers the outside line, so it is definitely a 2-lane track out there. Right now, the 54 trying to battle, not quite able to make it across the start-finish line. Grunberg still in 3rd, but he's putting the pressure on in 1 and 2. The 24 on the outside of Armando Ortiz trying to battle it off, but will damage tires if he does it. He decides that he's going to fall in behind Grunberg. Grunberg up to 2nd. Now it's just Grunberg and Miller trying to figure it out for 1st place. Miller does have about a 1-second lead over Matt Grunberg. We'll see if that time sticks or if it shrinks. As they cross the start-finish line, .983 is the gap from 2nd to 1st.
I think Grunberg, if he gets a little bit of help from the 24, Armando Ortiz, you got Kevin Dieterich over there, probably listening, saying every time we say his name wrong, he's probably like, it's Dieterich. Come on, guys. If these guys start working together, they're going to be able to catch up to these guys.
Gianna Stritch, Kevin G. But Grunberg right now in 2nd position. He is definitely closing the gap. 2 laps ago is about a second and then, well, 1.1 seconds. Now, .883. Matt Grunberg trying to catch him. Will it be enough time? We've got 5 laps more to go before we catch stage number 2. And there will be a caution at stage 2. Matt Grunberg trying to catch Miller. Miller looking to try and get that bonus point for winning the stage. Very important. Every point important, Rick. And I don't care if we're on race number 5, number 6, number 7, or number 2 like we are here tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, this is kind of a longer season here. I believe we have 24 weeks, though. But like you said, every point, every single point is going to count. So, I mean, these guys have bonus points for, you know, laps led, winning stages. You know, the stages, I'm guessing they're doing just like NASCAR, so that's, you know, 10 points per first, and it goes all the way back down to 1 point per 10th. Well, these guys are just battling out right now. James Miller, he is just doing what he has to do to hang on to that lead, Chris. But I can tell you right now, he is probably praying for the stage to end because everybody wants to come down for 4 new Goodyears and some Sunoco racing fuel.
Well, not only that, Rick, but he's got to be looking in his rearview mirror, looking at Matt Grunberg in the 54, saying, where in the heck did you come from? Only 0.4 of a second behind now is Matt Grunberg from James Miller, who's sitting in 1st spot, and he is watching that gap close as Gruenberg not only seems to be a little bit quicker, but now starting to catch that draft down to 0.266 seconds, and it is closing faster and faster every single lap. Gruenberg now down to the inside. You see Miller running just a little bit higher. Gruenberg looking to try and retake the lead here to win the stage 2. And it is up to Miller to try and hang on. He's got to try and keep that 25 down on the white line. So tough to do on old tires. And right now it looks like the Gruenberg machine in the 54 able to do it just a little bit better than the 25 we've got. 1 lap to go until the end of the stage. Gruenberg down to the inside. Gruenberg looking to try and win this stage, and so far he is being scored in front of Miller. Miller does have a little bit of momentum coming out of 1 and 2 on the upside, and he retakes the lead. This is going to be close through 3 and 4, not even a hood's length, separating 1 and 2. Gruenberg down to the inside. 25 does end up taking stage number 2.
I don't know about you, Chris, but I actually stood up out of my seat right there. That was some good racing, boys.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, I would have stood up, but then I don't know what will happen if I stand up. Maybe it sounds okay. I'm standing up right now. You know what? I think I could do this. I can broadcast standing up.
Well, yeah.
Stage 2 winner, James Miller. Holy cow, and what a run. Matt Gruenberg restarted the green flag run, I believe, in 5th position after a miscue on pit road, and made his way back up to 2nd. Between stage 1 and stage 2, 0 cautions.
Like you said, Chris, earlier, I think these guys finally have it figured out. I mean, they know that the track is slick. They know they have to be easy on the gas on these restarts, and that's all it takes, man. I mean, once they get it going, you know, there's no shame in having a caution. Especially here. I mean, Atlanta is a really tough track to drive, like we talked about earlier. You know, old track surface. It is warm. It is slick. And these guys are putting on one heck of a show tonight. I just want to make sure that he gets...
All right, guys, we are setting up to try and have somebody come up into the booth. We're waiting, as you may have heard, right after the pit stops happen. We're going to try and get Gabriel Smith, up here into the booth and try and figure out his actual last name. The driver of the 16 called me out today on chat and said, boy, let me get the quote exact, because it's important to be right here. Let's see. Where do I want to go? I want to go here. Rick, I shared that with you a long time. Oh, here we go. Well, I didn't catch that part of it, so... Anyways, he did call me out a little bit to make sure that we said his last name correct, and I told him simply, if you come into TeamSpeak and before the race, we'd get it right. And you know, he didn't do it.
Let's do it now, my friend.
Go ahead, Rick.
Gabriel, you got Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy, my friend?
10-4.
Well, it seems that you may have called my coworker out here. So we pulled you up. Number one, how's your race going?
It's pretty good. I messed up my qualifying, so I had to start from all the way in the back. Luckily for me, and lucky for the others, there was a something happened on the initial start of the race, so that put me up close to the top 10. That's where I'm sitting right now after stage 2.
Yeah, right now you're being scored on 8th, bud, so congratulations. You did qualify 21st, like you said. So the main reason why I brought you up here is Chris needs to know how to pronounce your last name.
Yes. It's Gabriel Eshek.
No, that can't be right. You're missing letters, Gabriel. That's not right. All right. Eshek it is. No longer Gabriel Smith. Eshek it is. We'll make sure to get that right.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're welcome, buddy. Good luck for the rest of your race.
Thanks.
Gabriel Ashik in the 16 car, and now I have nothing to fall back on. Oh, Lord.
You might want to say it about 7 more times, brother, just so that way you get it right.
Ashik. No, I kind of like Smith. And Cody's checking in and says, yeah, you can do this standing up with a duh. Well, you know, sometimes I don't think about that. I will say this, if I stand up, I can't see the screens quite as well as normal. And I do mean screens. 3 different screens to bring this broadcast to you. Not an inch of real estate goes unused.
Well, there's a little bit of a backstory, too. Just recently, Chris, you weren't able to stand up while you were broadcasting because you were actually stuck in your sim rig. So, congratulations on the desk, buddy. I'm glad it's working out for you.
That's true. Yeah, it truly is. And, man, if I would have known, I would have done this a lot sooner. I can drive on the desk, but I cannot broadcast out of a sim chair. And that's all there is to say about it. The other thing to say, Rick, pace car lights are off.
I told you so?
Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, the pace car lights are off, Chris. Right now we have James Miller. He is looking to take the outside lane on this restart.
Yeah, Miller starting on the outside. That's going to leave Grunberg to the inside. Check out who's running in 4th position right now. Eric Lida with Armando Ortiz sitting in the 24 car. He's running in 3rd. Kevin G, he's going to be in the 6 car. Jeffrey Fisher worked his way well into the top 10. And we take a look at all of them now as we go back up front and get ready to go as the green flag waves. James Miller up front. Matt Grunberg looking to battle early. They send it into turn number 1.
Now this is where things can get dangerous, Chris, because these guys all have 4 brand new Goodyear tires and a full tank of Sunoco racing fuel. Sometimes, as you know, as well as I do as drivers, you get those new tires, you feel like Superman. But right now, the number 25, James Miller, able to hang on to the lead as they go across the start-finish line. Matt Grunberg still in 2nd.
Hey, Rick, what do you think? We've been going pretty well. We're on lap 66 of 120. We just restarted the race after stage number 2. Winner was decided of James Miller. I think we can afford to do it, but how about we crank it up?
Let's crank it up, brother.
Rick, I don't know about you, but there's nothing that gets my heart pumping more than when we crank it up. These cars screaming around this track. A battle still going on between 1 and 2. James Miller, Matt Gruenberg. And then we go back. There's a huge battle for 3rd place. Kevin G wants us to pronounce his name right. He's got Armando Ortiz on the outside with Eric Leiter right behind him. And Jeffrey Fisher running in 6th. Gabriel in the 16 car, running in 7th. Dame Newson, 8th. Austin Verway, 9th. And Nick Alford rounding out the top 10. The battles are all over the track, trying to keep the pressure on every single car out there because, man, oh man, Matt Gruenberg taking a look on the inside, Rick.
Definitely, Chris. While we're there with the crank it up, I was watching, actually, Armando Ortiz, Kevin Jeterich, Eric Lida was in there, Jeffrey Fisher. They were all battling it out there. They're doing a great job, but right now it looks like the winner of that whole battle is Armando Ortiz, who's sitting in 3rd with Kevin Jeterich in the 6th machine sitting in 4th. Eric Lida is content right now in 5th, trying to put a little pressure on the number 6, Jeffrey Fisher, the man we haven't talked about much tonight. Doing a good job in the 60 machine, doing what he has to do. He has fallen out of the top 5, down into 6th position, but he's just kind of hanging out, trying to figure out what these guys are doing.
Pretty awesome racing going on in the top 10 as just about every single car out there has gone nose to tail. We're on lap 74 of 120. James Miller up front, continued pressure by Matt Gruenberg. Running very different lines as Matt Gruenberg hits the inside, going through turns 1 and 2. We got pressure for the lead. Matt Gruenberg, kind of out of nowhere, took the inside lane, had a run. Still being scored in 2nd, but on the inside, turns 3 and 4, Matt Gruenberg looks to have Miller by a nose. Miller fights back on the outside. Miller will lead that lap. Gruenberg not able to get around him on the preferred line of the inside.
Yeah, I bet you the 25 and the 54, Chris, I bet you they're having a ball. I mean, it's a good, clean battle. It's a lot of fun when you're able to do it there. Both drivers doing an outstanding job. But right now, Matt Gruenberg, he's getting a little bit of a run there. And he's been making that inside lane work really well for him tonight. Trying to figure out what he's going to do. Miller goes way down on the inside. Gruenberg stays a little high.
Yeah, these guys just absolutely trying to figure out each other's lane. I think both of them are very, very fast lanes. Gruenberg just trying to get around. Oh, we got a caution on track. It looks like it may be the 14 car. Dame Newsom. We're going to go back and take a peek at that one, Rick. As
yeah,
Newsom,
he was sitting in 8th there.
Yeah, Newsom facing the wall. Gets that car back running the right direction. We are under caution. We're going to go back and take a look to see what happened. Dame Newsom in the 14 car. He's outside of Verway in the 22. And he's got the 42 car right behind him. '16 gets a little loose. 14 had no place to go. And nothing but trouble after that. Austin Derbyshire also came in, collected some of that. Oh, the 16 gets rear-ended once again into the inside retaining wall. Oh, Gabriel, you should never have mentioned your name being a problem, because if we didn't bring you into the booth, that wouldn't have happened to you. That, my friend, is called the commentator curse.
And we apologize for that, Mr. Ashik. Well, that's what happens.
We are under caution. And this is caution number 4. We've had 17 laps of caution. We only have 42 laps to go. We've had 4 different lead changes, Rick. And, boy, this is a pretty good chance for Gruenberg to try and get out front of Miller. Not able to do it. Oh, so close. Good race off in pit road. James Miller going to come out your race leader once again.
followed by Matt Gruenberg and Armando Ortiz running up top 3.
Take a quick look at the race progress. And right now, the 60 car, Jeff Fisher, is the hard charger. He's up 13 positions as Jeffrey Fisher in the 60 car. So a pretty dang good run for him. And we are going to take just a very quick break, guys. We're going to be right back here on MaxSpeedTV. And we are back here at Atlanta. Thank you all again for coming out and visiting with us here at MaxSpeedTV tonight, bringing you all the action of the Relentless Racing Series presented here again on MaxSpeedTV. Cody Hall, you have some information that I may not have. You say, let's go MilSim team. Can you tell me who's making that up? I'm not sure who's a member of that. I know the AV Sim Sport. I know the Wagner race team, and I know One Sim, but I don't know who the MilSim team is. So if you could, please let me know. As the pace car lights are off, we're getting set to go back green flag racing here at Atlanta. James Miller again choosing the outside, Matt Gruenberg to the inside, then it's Eric Lida and Kevin Gietrich, Nick Alford in the 42, and Austin Verway making up the third row. Oh, Alfred and Nick Vaughn. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Getting set to go back to green flag racing. We're going into turns 3 and 4. Pace car lights are off. We're going back green flag as soon as it drops down below the white line off the racing surface. James Miller is the race leader. Matt Gruenberg sitting in second. Eric Lida, Kevin Gietrich up front, up in second row. And then we start getting into Austin Verway, Nick Alford. And we are off again. James Miller hits the go button. And man, did he go. But Matt Gruenberg able to kind of stick with him on this restart, and there's pressure under attack right now into turns 1 and 2. Gruenberg in the 54 trying for the race lead. He has it. James Miller started on the outside, not able to continue racing for the lead, as it looks like at this point Gruenberg in the 54 has the advantage. Going into 4, coming out onto the front stretch, Matt Gruenberg may have just taken over the lead of this race, and he did lead that one. James Miller relegated back to second place on that lap, but the battle's not over. Miller trying to fight back on the outside, and just ahead of him right now is James Miller. James Miller is in front of Gruenberg by a nose, now maybe a door. James Miller fighting for everything he can on the outside. Gruenberg has the preferred line on the inside here at Atlanta. The 54 fighting back from the inside, and it is Miller crossing the line first that lap. Back and forth we go here up front. The action getting heavy as Gruenberg and Miller fighting it out. Everybody else kind of gone nose to tail here. The action is incredible here at Atlanta. Every single time I have been at this track, it's back and forth racing just like this. Matt Gruenberg again to the inside, trying to put pressure on Miller. And this time it is Miller across the front stretch. Quicker. Watch out. Kevin in the 6 car is trying to catch that back bumper of one of those cars. It doesn't matter which one. Either way he goes, it's a 1.5 mile long track. Draft is a thing here at Atlanta, and that will push whichever car he gets behind will go further into the action. We are under caution one more time. And it looks like we have the 24 and the 51. Keith Hatcher, and Armando Ortiz will go back, take a peek, and see what happened. The Max Speed instant replay backing up to the point where it happened. We're on board the 51 car, Keith Hatcher. Thomas Wagner right behind the 51. Oh, 51 tried to go up. There was no place to go. Gets into the 24. 24 goes around. 51 goes around into the wall. Having trouble getting that thing righted. Keith Hatcher goes for a ride. We're going to go back, take one more look at that. You see it, the 51 is there with the 2. And Steve Arvasis on the outside. And the 51 has the 43 right behind him. That's Thomas Wagner. 51 starts heading up, and there's no room to go. And around some of these cars went, and we are back under caution one more time. And Rick, that was some exciting action going on there, bud.
Oh, it definitely was, Chris. I know I was away for a little bit of it there. I had to go up and get some pizza. I didn't bring you a slice, so I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
It's not as good as the Martinsville dog.
No,
that I can promise you.
Well, lap 87 of 120, we're sitting under caution. And this is caution number 5. We've got 21 laps of caution. 34 laps to go. 6 different lead changes going on right now.
And it looks like Matt Gruenberg was able to win the race off of pit road, Chris. He's going to be restarting this race in first position right next to Kevin Jeterich in the number 6.
Yeah, but you know what's really interesting? Vic Bloom out there. It does show that he came down pit road only for 8.7 seconds. Vic Bloom.
That sounds almost like a little top off of fuel, Chris.
He may have taken 2 tires and fuel on that stop. And boy, he came out in first place. Vic Bloom, your race leader. You know the problem with that, Vic? Is you have to change your color scheme just a little bit for us, my friend, because you are a white screen. I know you watch this either live or on replay. I'm calling you out, Vic Bloom. Get that thing fixed up for us, please. Vic Bloom has Matt Gruenberg, who's been very, very fast in that 54 car. He's going to be starting alongside of him. Then you've got Kevin Jeterich. He is last week's race winner, sitting there in 3rd spot in the 6 car. James Miller coming out of the pits in 4th position. Austin Verwey going to be 5th. Eric Lyda 6th. Nick Alford, part of the Milsim team, sitting in 7th spot. Nick Vaughn, also part of that same team, sitting in 8th. So good run for that Milsim team. Jeffrey Fisher sitting in 9th place. Dante Jackson rounding out your top 10 in the 17 car. Rick, The pace car lights are off. We're getting set to go back to green flag racing. Cars heading down the backstretch. And it's going to be all Vic Bloom's show here.
It really is, Chris. Now, one thing Vic has to worry about is just getting a good restart, making sure he's not too hard on that gas so he spins. We've seen that come into play a lot tonight. But right now, with I'm guessing two fresh tires, that's something to be a little bit worried about. But the other thing to worry about, Matt Gruenberg, he's right there. He's right next to him on the outside, Chris, and he is fast.
Yeah, Gruenberg has been quick all night long. He has led 26 laps, but the guy that's led the most so far, James Miller, has led 50 laps so far. Doing the math, he has not sealed up most laps led, but boy, he would like to be up front right now. Speaking up front, Vic Bloom with the restart, and he takes off like a shot. He's got Matt Gruenberg to the outside, and James Miller following him. Miller tries for a shot to the inside, not able to get there. Gruenberg shut the door on him. Now they head to the outside together.
It'd be really interesting to see, because as we were watching earlier, Chris, we knew which one was on the inside, which one was on the outside. Now that's kind of changed right now. But right now they have Vic Bloom in front of them that they got to get around first.
Gruenberg. Yeah, Gruenberg looking onto the outside. Miller trying to stay to the inside with the leader, Vic Bloom. Gruenberg may just have a little bit of a better run here, and Miller has to adjust accordingly. He heads to the outside, Rick.
He does now. I was just about to say, Vic Bloom, he comes in here, he was talking in chat there earlier. Didn't know how he qualified in third position, but let me tell you right now, he is leading the race. It's not going to be for long, though, as Gruenberg and James D. Miller on the outside working to take over positions 1 and 2 from Vic Bloom, but Vic's having a great night, Chris.
Yeah, Vic Bloom doing a very good job. He's actually still fighting with Miller for second spot, and he is on the inside. But you see that train just on the outside row. They're following Gruenberg and Miller, and Kevin G, he's on the outside. He may have to tuck back in. Oh, look out for that contact. It was close. Kevin was on that right rear bumper of the 77 car. Didn't actually hit him, but boy, that was close. And look at this, Austin Verwey on the inside. Austin, a newly formed uncle as of last week. This time, Austin Verwey is in 5th spot, and he's battling for more. Vic Bloom on the outside, gets a little tight, pushes up, and that allows Kevin G and Austin Verwey to move on forward. Eric Lyda, watch out for that 33 car, as he has been fast for a very long time here in this series. Eric Lyda looking on the inside of Vic Bloom, still fighting with the 22 Austin Verwey. I think that fight is now over, and it looks like Eric Lyda to the inside trying for position against Vic Bloom. Eric Lyda looking for 5th spot in the 33 and takes it.
Eric Lyda is one of those drivers, Chris, that just kind of hang back. We don't talk much about him. He hangs back, does what he has to do, but let me tell you, as we get closer to the end of the race, he really pours on. He's doing a great job in that number 33.
Speaking of a great job, we have a pass over second position. James Miller going backwards. Kevin Judrich is in 2nd spot, and Austin Verwey in the 22 is looking to take over 3rd. Austin Verwey takes 3rd away from James Miller at the line by inches.
That was a very, very close race there, Chris, but Verwey's doing a really good job there. And then number 22, as he gets a little tight, moves up onto the inside of the 25. He's going to hang back now just a little bit.
Go back just a little further as we got some action between the 46 car. That's Nick Vaughn, and behind him he's got the 42 Nick Alfred and 43 of Thomas Wagner, and on the outside Vic Bloom. Vic Bloom suffering with that 2-tire change, as 2 tires not getting it done here at Hotlanta.
Marquis Smith out there in chat. Let's go, Vic. Vic's been doing a really good job there tonight, Mr. Smith. Doing what he has to do right now. He's sitting in, I think,
Ninth place right now, right?
Yeah. I was just waiting for my scoring. Thomas Wagner moves up in the 43, Chris. He's sitting in 8th. He's putting, into the wall. Oh, boy.
Oh, Wagner into the outside wall, then back to the inside wall. He's not saving that one. And he blinks at the same time. Wagner off from the racing surface. We are still under green flag conditions. Hold on to that one, Thomas. And he does. He's heading the right way on track. We stay under green flag conditions. Matt Gruenberg up front. The battle right now for second spot. Miller is in third, looking to take over second on the inside. Not able to do it, falls back in the spot.
You can just hear those tires screaming, Chris, as they come out of the corner there. Right now, Miller's looking on the inside just a little bit, just thinking, no, I think I'll stay up here. Loses a little bit of traction on the 6th there. But one guy that's happy about all this racing, Chris, is that guy who's up in front right now, Matt Gruenberg, sitting there going, yeah, you guys race it out, do what you got to do.
Yeah, Matt Gruenberg about to cross the start-finish line. When he does, 20 more laps to go.
What a race this has been, Chris.
Yeah, this has been a very quick race here on a Friday night. This mile-and-a-half track definitely supplying some excitement as we have it going on again. On the outside, James Miller looking for second spot once again, and he pulls it off. Miller back up to second spot. Kevin Gietrich, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, Kevin, and I apologize, but he is back to third spot now. Austin Verwey in fourth, and you see the 64 in that shot coming down pit road. That's Austin Derbyshire. Austin down 7 laps, not having the run he was looking for tonight. And he came in tonight in 10th position in points. So tough night for him. But up front, man, Matt Gruenberg, you couldn't ask for a better night. One car off pace, it looks to be Jeffrey Fisher. He was down below that white line, was able to gather it up, hit back out on track, comes back on track in 10th position. So Jeffrey Fisher had a bit of excitement there. And right now, just trying to find all the action on track to bring it to you as we can. Looks like the first 7 cars, kind of nose to tail. 7th car being the 42. I know you can't read it because Nick has to change the colors on his car, but Nick Alfred in the 42 is in 7th spot. He's battling out with Nick Vaughn in the 46. Nick Vaughn, Nick Alfred, teammates, part of the Milsim team, Rick.
And they're doing just what they have to do, Chris. I fall back here to the number 77, Vic Bloom. He is getting a little bit of pressure by Dame Newsom in that number 14 machine. Newsom goes on to the inside. Now he's going back up to the bumper there. He's got the 60 Jeffrey Fisher saying, hey, I'll go with you. Ooh, is Fisher going to try to make it? Oh, he is. He's going to go on the outside of the number 14.
Fisher is a veteran of this series, and he just took over one position from Dame Newsom. As Fisher now sitting in 11th spot, he's got Vic Bloom just ahead of him. Vic Bloom took 2 tires on that last pit stop, Rick, and I think that has hurt him more than helped him.
Yeah, Vic Bloom came in, qualified 3rd tonight. Right now he is sitting in 10th, but he does have a lot of pressure by that number 60 of Jeffrey Fisher. Nick Fisher's just looking. He's going to go on to the inside now, Chris. Got the 14 moving up.
Fisher
is looking. Oof.
Yeah, it is. A lot of stuff happening right there with just those 3 cars. Vic Bloom to the outside, trying to hold momentum. And he's got Jeffrey Fisher right behind him. Dame Newsom in the 14 behind them. So that's 10th, 11th, and 12th position on track. Jeffrey Fisher trying to break the top 10 He is to the inside right now. Vic Bloom, Fisher in the 60 to the inside. Bloom moves down just a little bit, causes Fisher to have to move. They are getting side by side turns 3 and 4. Jeffrey Fisher trying to break the top 10 right now. Has a nose. Vic Bloom may be losing another position. The 60 of Fisher has a little bit of help. The 14 right behind him. Jeffrey Fisher scored 10th position. And he is cleared. Vic Bloom in the 77. Fisher now to 10th spot. Right now the 14 car. Dame Newsom now also attacking Vic Bloom. And Vic with those 2 tires really trying to do everything he can. Just, oh, hold on, Jeffrey Fisher. Vic Bloom may have just touched him just a little bit. Got him a little squirrely. All 3 cars able to keep going. But boy, that was tight. Dame Newsom gets around Vic Bloom now. Dame sitting in 11th spot. Jeffrey Fisher just ahead in the top 10. Troy Leonard sitting in 9th position in that Coke Zero 45 car. Kind of all by himself. Ahead of him, Dante Jackson in the 17. Then it's Nick Alford and Nick Vaughn sitting in 7th and 6th position. Austin Verway having a good run tonight, sitting in 5th spot right now. And it looks like he may be trying to battle for more as he falls back in line behind 4th place runner Kevin, I don't know, guys. You can see his name. Jeterich. Eric Lyda in the 33 running in 3rd position. James Miller 2nd. And that leaves Matt Gruenberg still leading this race by a little more than a half a second in the 54 car with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, he's definitely a happy man there in that number 54, Chris. He's in the nice clean air and has nothing to really worry about. There's back there, like you said, just a little ways. I don't know if he's going to be able to, I mean, if he catches the draft a little bit more, maybe. Eric Lyda, somebody who we said, you know, he's just doing what he has to do.
Well, I'm just going to say right now, James Miller, not the last lap, but the lap before, just a little bit faster than Gruenberg. And that may be because of the draft. If he can catch that draft, he should be able to suck up to that rear bumper. These cars are known for that. They draft very, very well. They catch the air nicely, and they will suck up to the car ahead of them. With 9 laps to go, make that 8 as Gruenberg crosses the start-finish line. We've got about a second differential, 1.350 now. Back to 2nd place of Miller. Does Gruenberg have what it takes to finish this one off? Matt Gruenberg in the 54, your race leader.
Well, one thing to remember from last season, Chris, Matt Gruenberg and James Miller, I mean, those guys always race hard. They race clean, respectful, and they're no strangers to being 1 and 2. So it's going to be interesting right now. That gap looks pretty big, though, as I'm looking back behind the number 54. Right now, I bet you he's smiling.
Matt Gruenberg's gap back to 25. James Miller gets into the wall. Eric Lyda looking to try and take advantage. Eric Lyda to the inside of James Miller. Miller with an unfortunate miscue. Does get tight and gets in the wall, but able to keep going. Eric Lyda coming down. Looks like he may be coming down pit road in the 33. Eric Lyda hard on the brakes, smoking the tires as he crosses the line onto pit road. So he goes from attacking James Miller to coming down pit road. Do these guys not have enough fuel to make it?
That's something here that I'm watching, Chris, as I'm on board with the 33 machine to see what his pit strategy is.
Top 11 vehicles. It's been 28 laps since they were last on pit road. Oh my goodness, guys. The pit window is laps 25 to 28. Matt Gruenberg is going to try and stretch this out. He has no choice. If he comes down pit road, he gives up the lead. Dante Jackson on pit road right now. Dame Newsom is the first car. Oh, no, excuse me. That's not correct. Dante Jackson in the 17 is the first car out on track. That's not correct either. I'm trying to figure out our timing here. Bunch of cars on pit road. Bunch of cars staying out. Matt Gruenberg in the 54, your race leader. We've got a bunch of cars out on track looking to see who's going to be the first one off pit road and on track at speed, because that could very well be your race leader by the time this is all sorted out. Matt Gruenberg, my goodness, lap 30. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, Rick. That's a long stretch. He's got 4 more laps to go. He's been out there for 31 laps. 3 more laps to go. Can Matt Gruenberg make it on fuel, Rick? This is going to get interesting.
Oh, it definitely is, Chris. I mean, we know from last season Matt Gruenberg is no stranger to saving fuel. He has a good lead, doing what he has to do. I mean, he hasn't really had to, you know, pour on the speed as much. Right now, I definitely did see Eric Light on that number 33. He came down. He took 4 tires and a splash of fuel, Chris. But it looked like he actually was still in reverse as he was leaving, because he did have to back up there. So that hurt a little bit, but he is back out on track, scoring, I believe, 9th. 1 lap down right now.
Matt Gruenberg, 2 laps to go. 1 to go when he crosses the start-finish line. I believe that he is going to stay out there and try and stretch that fuel. And you hear, oh, caution on track. Caution is waving. I don't know why. It may be Steve Arvasis as he is on pit road, but that car heavily damaged. We're going to go back and take a look.
I think you're correct, Chris.
The MaxSpeedTV replay queuing up, getting ready to show us, excuse me, the 2 car down below the white line, and was for a while, comes down, hits the, I'm not sure what was going on there. Steve Arvasis, it looked like he hit the outside wall, spun it around the track, hit the inside wall. Nonetheless, Matt Gruenberg, the race leader, coming across the start-finish line with very low fuel, going to be your race winner. And that is the race right there. James Miller going to be second. Austin Verwey with a really nice finish tonight in the 22 car. Verwey finishing 3rd. What a wild finish. It's just as wild as the first lap when we started with a caution, Rick.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, it's been a good race all the way through. Quite unfortunate there for the number 2. I mean, he just did not have the race that he wanted tonight.
So we are done here in Atlanta. We've got post-race interviews right around the corner. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. And it looks like the 54 is out of fuel as he has won this race. He's getting a little helping hand by Austin Verwey to the start-finish line to get ready for the post-race. Oh, he kept enough just to do a little burnout. Good job, Matt Gruenberg. Verwey doing a great job pushing him around the track during that commercial break to get him set. And Matt Gruenberg had enough fuel to light the tires up on that 54 Toyota.
Oh, that's awesome to see, Chris. And that just shows the respect that these guys have for each other out there.
Absolutely. Austin Verwey coming home in third place tonight. Unfortunately, not in team speak. Austin, I would have loved to have talked to you tonight, knowing that you had become an uncle just last week at right around this time. But that leaves us with James Miller and Matt Gruenberg. And Rick, we're going to go ahead and let you hit these post-race interviews. And my goodness, what a finish to this one. Kind of an odd one, but you know, that's the same as the race started. It was a little bit odd, but we've got it figured out. And my gosh, it was actually a pretty darn good race. A lot of green flag laps here tonight. Only had 6 caution flags. Remember, 2 of those were for stages. 24 laps, 8 different lead changes. Matt Gruenberg ended up leading the most laps here tonight with 56. Miller came home with 50 laps led between the two of them, 106 laps of this 120-lap affair. And Rick, whenever you're ready, we'll let you go ahead and take those post-race interviews.
All right, brother. First up, oh, he moved on me, is going to be James Miller. James D. Miller, the driver in the number 25 machine. You got Rick up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
10-4.
Hey, man. Haven't talked to you since last season. It feels like forever, man. Awesome race. Congratulations. You qualified 4th. You finished 2nd. How'd that race go for you?
Man, yeah, it has been a while since we talked. I was really hoping we could, I can get a top 3 last week, but I didn't manage to do it this race. But yeah, this race went really good for me. I gotta thank Eric Lida for helping me with my long run speed, because I was definitely lacking on that last year, and we practiced that a lot in the off season, and it helped out tremendously here. Just didn't quite have the fuel there to keep up with Matt there, and he did a good job saving fuel, and then that caution came out, which I think saved us all, to be honest. But glad to get that stage win too, some bonus points for leading, and yeah, 2nd place, can't complain.
No, definitely, and whatever Eric did with you, man, he did a good job, because you and Matt were battling out for most of this race, and it was just outstanding to watch. And I hope you enjoy there when you watch the replay back. But great job, buddy. Congratulations. Like you said, you know, you won stage number 2. You came in here, you finished 2nd. I know it's not exactly where you won the finish, but I would say that was definitely a win for you, man. So congratulations. Is there anybody out there you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just thanks to Jeffrey Fisher and the AV Simsport team for bringing me along and running on their team, and shout out to Grandstand Video for watching and being on the car, and all my teammates for helping me out, whether they think they are or not. They're a big help.
Well, that's excellent, brother. Hey, listen, go down, enjoy that 2nd place finish. We'll see you next week in Las Vegas.
All right, guys. See ya.
Take care. That was 2nd place finisher James D. Miller in that 25 machine. Unfortunately, Austin Verwey, again, please hop into TeamSpeak if you need the information. Either get with Thomas Wagner or myself, and we'll get that set up for you. And now we're going to be bringing in the person who finished number 1. That's going to be the number 54, Matt Gruenberg. Matt Gruenberg, you got Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy. It seems like forever since I talked to you. New season, race number 2. I know you didn't have the finish that you wanted last week, but you came out today, qualified on the pole. Congratulations on that. You won stage 1. Congratulations on that. And you won the race. So congratulations, brother. How'd it go out there for you tonight?
Yeah, you know, sometimes on these Friday nights, I'm not able to finish the races, but this was one of those weeks where I was able to run the whole race, and it was a lot of fun out there. I really would have liked to seen the race go green all the way to the end there. I know we were racing fuel mileage, and it was pretty intense inside the car trying to have just enough fuel to make it to the end, but still running fast laps. And I think we would have still beat the 25 there. I know he had less fuel than we had at the end, so I guess the caution comes out and we still got the win anyway. So it was a great effort for the One Sim team this week. Thanks for the One Sim for the new paint this week. I'm undefeated in these LMP paints so far, so hopefully we can keep the trend going for next week. And yeah.
Well, excellent, brother. Hey, listen, you put on one heck of a show. You led 56 of the laps. Congratulations, man. And that paint scheme does look nice, so keep them up. So you looking forward to Las Vegas?
Yeah, not sure if I'll be able to run that whole race, but we'll sure give it a go if we can. I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a good one.
All right, brother. Hey, we'll check you out next week. Is there anybody else you'd like to thank? I know you kind of already did it already. You've been up here before, so you know how it works.
Yeah, just shout out to the One Sim guys, Kevin, Austin, Austin Verway as well, Jordan. He's not here with us this week, but hopefully he'll be with us soon. He couldn't make it tonight, but hopefully we'll see him in these next few races.
Well, excellent, brother. Well, thank you again. Thanks for putting on a good show. Congrats on the win, on the stage win, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you next week in Las Vegas.
Yep, thank you.
And there we have it, Chris. If you are around, those are the number 1 and 2 tonight. Again, Austin Verway. Sorry we weren't able to chat with you here on TeamSpeak. So if you need any help with that, just get with either Chris or I, and that's it, man. What a heck of a race, Chris.
Yeah, very good race, Rick. And we're going to go down the unofficial results here real quick. We've got Gruenberg, who finished first, James Miller second, Austin Verway third, Nick Vaughn coming home fourth, and Nick Alford coming home in fifth spot. After that, you've got Kevin G coming home sixth spot, Troy Leonard, Eric Lida, Dante Jackson, and Jake McDonald. And then we've got Vic Bloom finishing 11th position here tonight, and Stephen Dean, Gabriel, oh shoot, well, there goes that, Ishik. Gabriel Ishik. And Thomas Wagner coming home 14th, Keith Hatcher 15th. Then we've got Steve Arvasis coming home in 16th tonight, Dame Newsom 17th, Jeffrey Fisher ending the night sadly 6 laps down, 2 laps down, excuse me, and in 18th spot, Austin Derbyshire coming home 19th, Armando Ortiz with an incident earlier on coming home in 20th place, and Kenneth Cook coming home 21st. And that is how this one ended up, Rick. A very awesome night here tonight. And, man, we only got, what, 24 more weeks to go?
Yeah, somewhere around there, 22.
Oh, 22,
hey, listen, next week's going to be fun, man. We got the Luxor Hotel and Casino 180, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'll be towing the Hammond Hotel out there for you, and I'll have it all ready.
All right, and with that, guys, thanks very much for spending your Friday night here with us on MaxSpeedTV. We really do appreciate it, and we will see you next Friday night. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. And remember, MaxSpeedTV is on just about every single night, at least 1 or 2 races going on with us on every night. So be sure to check us out. Make sure to hit the chat and talk to whoever's out there broadcasting. We all love it, and we all get back to you as soon as we can. And for that, and for you, Rick, have a great night, everybody.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying, there's contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Parabolka. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the